Okay, so in today's video we are going to finally get this engine out. I said I was going to do it before, but I've had some other bits and bobs with the welding, so engine's almost disconnected. I'm going to take the linkage out and finish off some wiring to be removed, and the engine's coming out today. All I've got left to do is remove the rails, fuel lines, and some bits and bobs. There's something here, I'm not sure what that is. That's disconnected. Oh, that's the wipers. Disconnect that already. Disconnect the connection. Go underneath, get the fuel linkage off, the gear linkage off, and the engine's coming out. Wheels are all out, the shafts are out. Actually, no, the shaft on this side's out only. Anyway, so that's that today. My plan for this is, because I'm very limited with space, is I'm going to get the engine hoist, move it to the front of the car, connect the engine hoist to the engine, just to take the weight off. Then I'm going to get some axle stands, put them underneath the car, because the problem I've got is a bit of a slight... how can you put it? A slight miscalculation when I was building the car, or taking the car apart. Yes, I took the wheels off a bit too early, so there's nothing on the back. So I'm going to get the axle stands, put them on the back, use the lift, lower it onto the axle stands, get the lift, put it as far back as I can, which then is going to allow me to keep the car on the lift, take the axle stands off again, put them on the front so the front's safe. It's going to be on the hoist as well. Then I can get underneath, do that gear linkage. There's it's called a bitch pin. It's a bit awkward to get off apparently, but it shouldn't be too awkward, I guess. Get that off and then the engine can come out. So moving on from there, some better news. Haven't done a video yet, guys, but forget about all this. Look at that. Oof. Done some spot welds there. Again, ignore this all previous work. Okay, so what I've done is I was using argon CO2. What I've tried doing is a good friend of mine lent me this regulator, so I can now see my pressure, I can now see my flow. I've got the flow set at 4.2 litres per minute, and I've also changed it to argon. Now the difference is that the argon doesn't penetrate as well, but it gives less spatter, whereas the argon and CO2 gives better penetration with more splatter. I've got the welder set. I've got the welder set to minimum, and I've got the wire feed set to about 5.5. That's where we're at. Okay, so we are now going to move the linkage. So linkage comes in two parts. There's a bolt here. I don't know, feels like a 13, maybe 12mm bolt. That should just pop off. And then this part is the awkward part, which should be a rubber boot that comes off. Well, it doesn't come off, it slides backwards. There you go. Let's have a look. So this should slide back. There you go. And that's... looks like it's been crimped on. Oh man. Okay, so I can see someone's crimped that on, which means it's going to be a lot harder to get off. So let's just give that a quick go, try and turn it around. So basically what I'm going to do is take this clip off, and then there's like a pin underneath, but this is going to be, yeah, that's crimped on, I think. See, it's indented there as well, so it's going to be fun. See, normally it's like a C-clip, but this, hang on, it turns around, let's have a look. Oh no, it is actually, okay. That's straightforward, so just push that off. Okay, that turned out to be a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought someone crimped it on, I thought, Christ. Yes, just push both ends on, and then get a screwdriver underneath. Easier said than done with one hand, but okay. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah. So we'll take this pin off and then take this pin out. The only problem is the pin's this way, so I'm hoping there's enough. Yeah, there should be enough space to hammer it out that way. I might even be able to hammer it with the pin in place as well, to be fair. And with the clip in place. Oh, that's going to be annoying. Not hard, but annoying. There you go. Okay, that's all there is to it. I'm going to keep this and clean it because I'm not sure if these are replaceable or not. Yeah, you see where it's been, I thought it was crimped and indented, but that indentation just helps it sit in that hole there. So the next job now is to hammer that pin out, and what I've done is, I've actually got, if I can find where I put it, come on, a chopped off Allen key I've used for something else in the past. So I'm just going to get that and try and hammer it out. I've got to put the hammer sideways, so I'm out of space. Okay, so it's moving, but I'm in an awkward position because the car's quite low, I'm on my back, and I'm really struggling to get some momentum. So, looks like it's an Allen bolt, but it's not. Let's try that again. Okay. Ow. Okay. Okay, let me get a bigger hammer because this isn't working. Okay, so I've got a bigger hammer. It's so heavy I could barely lift the damn thing. Let's try it. Oh god, too heavy. Whew. Okay, I'm going to move you to the other side so I can see what I'm doing. So result. Windshield. The engine is out. Woo! Holy crap. That was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, to be honest. Yeah, the hard part of the engine was, I didn't realise, I didn't realise there's no lifting eyes on the engine. So I came to lift it, I was like, where are the lifting eyes? So I'm not sure if they're not supposed to be there or someone's taken them off. So that's definitely something I'm going to be looking at when I come to put it back in again. Something I think I will look at potentially is a spreader bar as well, because the way I strapped it, it wasn't going to fall, but because of the weight of the gearbox, it was tilting to one side, so it was really awkward to get it out. I haven't damaged a single thing apart from I had to cut a hose, a coolant hose, a heating hose, sorry, and I also had to damage the throttle position sensor because I didn't think it was going to be a problem, so I didn't remove it. But then the engine got wedged and I couldn't get it off. So I had to make a sacrificial break, and that it's about £10 to buy, to be fair. And something I know I can find as well. Other than that, it's come off pretty clean. We've taken the gear linkage off, that wasn't a problem. Engine's out, it's balanced on the trolley. I'm probably going to strap it just to make sure it doesn't fall. It's quite solid, to be fair. Yeah, but I've taken it out in one whole shot. The original plan was to lift the engine out, but when I saw that the engine was tilted, it wasn't quite set on the straps. Probably my fault, to be fair, the way I've rigged it. I wasn't comfortable lifting it this high and taking it round, so I've lowered it. I've got my CJ Auto's car lift, which is absolutely, what a godsend, honestly, fantastic bit of kit. So I've got that, so I've lifted the car up and it's out. What I do want to do now is, I've got a slight issue, well, not an issue, but when I've built the frame, I've got two sizes, either this wide or slightly or narrower. So I want to make it narrower because the problem I've got is I can't get to my sills because the car's sitting on the sills. I didn't want to do it before because of the weight of the engine, because the sills are all rotten, so I don't want to put too much stress on the frame. So now there's no weight, I mean the car's as light as anything I can lift through my hands now. Now that it's not, there's no weight to the car apart from the boot and the side glass, I'm going to now rest the car. I've just remembered I've got two sets of wheels and tyres. I'm going to rest the car on some tyres, put some wood on top of the wheels so I don't damage the wheels, even though they need powder coating anyway. Rest the car on some wheels, take the stand out, rebuild it again, it's right faff, rebuild it again, make it narrower so the car, well, so the stand is resting on the centre of the car, well, the centrish of the car. Not the strongest part of the car, but there's no weight to it now, so I'm quite comfortable doing that. So I think I'll do that, then that'll allow me to lift the car up anyway, and I can start tackling the sills. I want to clean all the engine bay, the engine, I've taken the subframes off. My god, the amount of oil and grease on them. But to be fair, the engine bay looks pretty decent. I can't see the tiny bit of surface rust where the bolts are, but I can't see much surface rust, so it's quite good actually. God knows how it's going to go back together again, but we'll tackle that later on. Yes, I think next protocol now is to lower the car onto the wheels, get the stand out, rejig the stand, make it smaller, jack the car as high as I can, leave it horizontal so I can start stripping the engine bay and cleaning everything. I've still got to take the boot off, I've got to take the dashboard out as well. And I want to take everything off because obviously I'm doing a colour change, so I can't leave any wiring or everything's going to come off. And then we'll start cleaning the bodywork. Now by cleaning I mean there's loads of grease and oil, is you get some Swarfiga or something, some degreaser, clean it, probably power wash it, and then clean it again. The only I'm slightly cautious about power washing it because I don't want any water trapped in the sills. The sills are rotten anyway actually, never mind, we'll power wash it. I was going to sandblast it, but my other concern is I'm in an open garage, as you can see. If I sandblast this in here, it's going to everything's going to be covered in dust. But because I want a colour change on them, I want to make sure I get rid of any rust possible. I think that's where I'm going to have to go. Yeah guys, but the engine's out, fantastic. And then we'll take the gearbox off. I've got an engine stand over here, I've got to tidy up a bit. So I think the next protocol now is get the car settled, sort out the ramp, and then just stop and have a tidy up before I do anything else. So I've got parts all over the place. There's a right mess everywhere. I emptied the fluids, but there's still some left, gearbox oil and whatnot, or coolant that came out. So I've got fluids everywhere on the floor. It's only water, but it's slippery. It's dirty more than anything. I dropped a tiny bit of brake fluid because I made a mistake. The previous owner said that the ABS wasn't connected. Now, there was no ABS module in the boot, so I bought an ABS module and the ABS light was on, so I always assumed it was never connected. But it was pressurised, so as soon as I disconnected the ABS, it was like a fountain of brake fluid flying everywhere. Luckily I had glass, I turned around, it wasn't a problem. Yes, always check to be fair, but it wasn't an issue, but it's just very, very annoying because I got brake fluid all over the engine, I got some on the floor. Yeah, so now set the car up again, clean up time, tidy up, and that's about it. Hey guys, finally made it. Engine is out. Boosh, ready. Okay, so basically quick one. So the engine was absolutely filthy, so what I've done is I have actually just taken the engine out. I've blocked all the holes, injector holes and air lines and whatnot, and I've given it a quick clean. You can't see, it's a bit dark now, it's a bit in the evening, so you can't really tell. However, really filthy, but I've given it a bit of a clean. It's way better than it was. So now I'm going to leave the engine for the time being. Going to get back to the car. Engine bay doesn't look too bad actually. I can't see any rust. It's quite decent. It's filthy, but it's quite decent. So what I've done is, you'll see the car on wheels. I've lowered the frame, lifting frame, and the reason for that is I want to make it smaller. Because I've got when I bought it, it came with another set of arms if you'd like, so you can make it narrower. And I need to make it narrower, like I said before, because I need to get to those arches. So that's the next job, making that smaller, raise it as high as I can, empty the car. Next is the dashboard, rest of the wiring loom, and all the engine bay. That's the next job. So fingers crossed. It's not been a bad day. Quite a long day to be fair, but it's not been a bad day to be honest. So yeah, so it's out. Whoa, hey, look at that. Look at the size of it, massive. Anyway, yeah, so that's the next. I might do that in between jobs. What do you guys think? I'm not sure. The engine runs fine. Would you strip the engine completely and rebuild it? Or would you just take off the fuel injection, refurb the injection? I need to change the gasket because I took the cover off anyway, the side off the intake. So I'm going to refurbish that anyway. I'm going to do the water pump, the belts, and spark plugs and gaskets on the top, obviously. Leave the distributor alone, change the engine mounts, clean it up, restore the starter motors and alternators and whatnot. But would you touch the engine inside, or would you leave it as it is and just clean it? I'm going to paint the engine, so that's definite. I'm just not sure whether I should open the engine or leave it as it is. So that's not too sure to do about that just yet. But yes, there she is. She's just getting there all of a sudden. Now I was always struggling to get to this point. Now from this point you can really move on because you can really finish stripping the car and you can start taking the paint back. I think next purchase might be a sandblaster because I can take this, if I see there's no rust, I can take this back and then repaint it. However, I'm keen to take this to the bare metal to make sure there is no rust, even though it looks pretty clean, the engine bay, to be honest. Yes, I'm stripping that paint and off we go. That's the next video. Well, not next video, but that's coming up soon, guys. See you later.